Hello all. I've had a bit of a blowout, as you guys could probably tell from my previous videos, the one on the autism issue and my second critique of Mythbusters. I would like to post this video in the description of my other two, for my last couple of posts, to apologize for the level of anger that crossed through my work. I have been feeling lately, and this may be a misinterpretation on my part, that that we are actually in much more of a dire state than that we really are, or more importantly, that maybe the issue is partly what I have criticized, but it is partly what I was criticizing, but that there is the other issue of desensitization as well. That we are facing an issue of, the public in general, the viewing public of TV in general, seems to have a short attention span, to say the least, or that a lot of them may not have the time to think in depth as is necessary. So to that end, rather than, I guess what I'd like to say is that with regard to the I still think that for the autism issue, I still think that we need to get Autism Speaks I still think we need to get Sesame Street to sever the partnership with Autism Speaks right now. Primarily for the reason that we want to make, or at least give a critical review as to what Autism Speaks wants Sesame Street to post. This way, and have some guidelines as to what would cause the partnership to break. This way we can at least make it fully clear that young children who do not have critical thinking faculties are not inadvertently being taught to treat autistic people as if they are somehow innately diseased or inferior or something, effectively not creating more of a stigma for autistic people than there already is. So that's what I'm trying to sum up from my previous video, that one here. Now for the Mythbusters. Carrie or anyone else, if you're watching this, I still welcome criticism if I'm wrong on either of these two, on either of this point or the stats video that I originally posted as well. If I actually use the wrong statistical test, feel free to call me on it. If I use the wrong degrees of freedom or something. I mean, the fact that I got 1.35 million is still below the appropriate one for 15 or 16 degrees of freedom. If you use the two sample version of t-test for calculating the number of degrees of or calculating n for the number of degrees of freedom. That being said, all of that being said, I still think that again, Mythbusters needs to watch how they work about things, and remarks like that. Yes, I know it's an old remark, and I hope you guys have improved a lot since then. But I'm just simply saying, I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to come down Mythbusters' throat like a ton of bricks on this. What I'm trying to say is that people like myself as a YouTuber, and even more so like Mythbusters, are on the front lines of trying to promote scientific thought and critical thinking towards everyday life, trying to encourage people in the use of critical thinking, etc., for every aspect of their lives, not just what happens to be their preconceived ideas. So my concern is the fact that if that sort of mentality starts slipping into Mythbusters, it kind of undermines the original. It kind of undermines or teaches in the wrong way. It may send mixed signals or even the wrong signal, even albeit unintentionally. Now, I want to say in full form that I support Mythbusters wholeheartedly as a program, and this is why I'm so critical of them as a program. It's the same like when I was doing my criticisms of Penn and Teller bullshit. It's because I know what they were trying to do, and I was trying to shore up. Their criticisms where they may have flubbed, where they may have used the wrong logic, where they may have incorrectly assumed too much from one source, that kind of thing. Largely because of the fact that I want programs like this to be the next wave forward in science education for the public, who may not be getting it at public school, who may be getting sold short by the public education system or what have you. And if these shows are meant to inspire people to go forward and think critically and explore and look at the edges of science and what have you, and look at the edges of information and the edges of human knowledge, I wholly support this. And this is why I am trying to be so critical and so nitpicky about details, is because they are trying to promote and set a good example for people, and I worry desperately about depending on how influenceable is the audience that's watching this, be it Sesame Street, be it Sesame Street, be it Mythbusters, be it Penn and Teller bullshit, any program that is trying to be educational to the public, I worry that some of the audience may not have proper critical thinking faculties, and if we set them a bad example, that it's going to cause them to learn the wrong thing, or not learn the wrong thing, but learn the wrong method, and as a result have a misapplication which could cause harm for them later down the line. This is why I'm so critical. This is why I'm so critical and why I'm so harsh. It's not... I just want you guys to understand that this is I don't do this because I'm concerned about... I don't do this because I don't do this because I mean to be confrontational, and I don't do this because I think that they've automatically, gone and done something completely horrible. It's just because of the fact that I am desperately worried that this sort of thing will happen to the public, that we'll teach the wrong thing, and I am equally worried as well that I will do the exact same thing. This is why, when I'm normally under control, I ask people, please post new sources in the comments below, or talk, or have a discussion on these issues or what have you. Again, it's because of the fact that I know that I'm not right about everything, and I need constant feedback so that this way, if I flub, I can catch it and make an amendment. I hope that Mythbusters, etc., and the other groups will pay attention to criticisms like this when they come through, and if they are right, we'll remedy them as quickly as possible. We'll remedy them and modify them in their future behavior, so and make an amendment on that, so as to make sure that they admit that that these kind of methods are not cool, and if they were caught, then it's not that I'm trying to point out any sort of hypocrisy or anything, because that would be the ad hominem tu quoque fallacy. It's an issue of, I know that we are all trying to move, that we're all trying to work together to promote good thinking in our society to face real serious issues that we are facing as a species right now. And to that end, I just want to make sure that we give people the best tools possible, and we set them the best example in how to use those tools possible. That's my only concern. And I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I myself set a bad example by letting the emotion creep into my system so badly with my last couple of videos. To that end, a couple of new updates that are going to happen with this channel. The first one is the fact that I'm probably going to be cutting back on the number of videos that I'm sharing for the next little while, at least ones in the nature of my science and politics commentary. I'm going to attempt to do them in a much more thought-out pattern before I put them online. Collect my thoughts, make sure that I have everything down pat and all the sources. And when I'm relating science news, I'm sometimes going to try to connect multiple science reports into a single thread. So this way I have fewer videos, more hard-hitting videos, fewer videos, but but of them that are shared, more of them will be hard-hitting. And all of the sources will still be referenced, but at least they'll be all in one place, and you won't have to go scrolling through my Facebook feed to find stuff, and also hopefully desensitization will not kick in, as a very good friend of mine just pointed out a couple of minutes ago on my Facebook. So thanks again, everyone, for having put up with me and understanding where this is coming from. And to that end, I apologize for the snap that I had, and I will attempt to work harder in future at not having this happen again. Peace out all, and again, if you start seeing little tremors that I'm starting to go this direction, please let me know, and more importantly, please let me know how I'm slipping, so this way I can actually change the method accordingly. Thanks a bunch. Catch you on the flip side.